Yo, episode 270. We made it podcast. Ridiculous.
270.
Good thing we got some rejuvenation. You know what I mean? We got Holly back in the building.
Yeah, I can do 5 more episodes.
I don't know if Holly's going to become a part of We Made It podcast. I'm open to it. You know what I mean? But I don't know if Holly's really with it like that.
I mean, we do have big plans for next summer, so why not start now?
Let's go.
So
Okay.
are we making it official that We Made It podcast is three people?
Let's jump her in right now.
Are you ready for the We Made It podcast pack out?
Yeah. Let's go. You're in now. You get jumped in. Let's go.
Let's go.
You're in the gang. There's no money. Actually, it's negative money. You got to send us money. Anyway, We Made a podcast. Now we're 3 people. Episode 270. We got a few things to talk about. We're going to talk about some Champions League. Talk about Caesar's favorite coach, Thomas Tuchel.
That's not my favorite coach.
Getting fired. And if we have time, we'll talk about the formal signing of the equal pay agreement in the USA. But which games did you guys watch between yesterday and today?
I caught a bit of PSG, Juve, and then I watched all of Napoli and Liverpool today, which was quite the game.
Caesar,
you watch
Real Madrid?
I watched a lot of games, unfortunately, but I watched mainly when we talk about. I watched Real Madrid Celtic, and then I caught some of the other games too. But I just had them on while I was working. I wasn't like watching, but the Real Madrid Celtic game I legit watched.
You didn't watch any today?
I did. I watched.
Weren't you gonna watch Inter Bayern?
Yes, I watched that. Yes. I watched that. It was very boring. Sorry.
Well, what do you guys think of PSG Juve? Let's talk about that a little bit.
PSG Juve. Let's see. When I watched the game, first of all, like it was like I didn't expect it to be such a closer scoreline. Like when you watched it, it felt like a bigger gap was going on in terms of like play on the field. What has consistently been an issue for Juve, I've talked about for 6 years, is like they just do a terrible job of having midfield possession, and like they just sit back and run these random counters and hope that something happens. Also, they're running 2 left-footed tall strikers. It's never going to work like that, man. You got to have some parity when you have right-footed wingers. It don't work like this. You know, the game is angles.
Holly, are you left-footed?
Right-footed.
Okay, good.
She knows better. No, but no, like yeah, and Juve also, like, they came out hot, but they didn't get goals that, like, I would say are like I'm sorry, PSG, like the 2 goals that PSG got, I felt like were like highlight goals, right? Like, oh man, that's crazy, but they weren't goals that were like through a consistent buildup. Like I didn't see like a consistent pattern of buildup that like, for example, Real Madrid, like they go 70% down the left side of the field and keep setting that up over and over and over between the top 2 and then make something happen. When PSG, it just feels like, oh, here's this crazy run from the right side of Mbappe, then the left side, then Neymar does a crazy dribble and then falls into the goalie. It feels very like Harlem Globetrotters when, you know, Real Madrid is like feels like a legit like offense is being set up. So yeah, PSG just felt very kind of like sporadic, and it kind of showed in the scoreline that they were only able to pull a 2-1 result when I honestly expected them to really dog Juve. I was shocked that it was going to be that close.
Yeah, I was also expecting a lot more, and especially from the first like 15 minutes, it did seem like it was all PSG. But you're right, it's so like I don't want to say they're obviously very skillful and like they play that to their advantage, but it does seem very like highlight reel type stuff. Like obviously there's tactics involved, but like it's like I don't know, especially both goals, yeah, were highlight reel goals kind of. And like I mean, I didn't really catch the second half too much, but it looked like it should have been a bigger scoreline for sure. I didn't see Weston McKennie's goal, y'all American goal.
I disowned him.
He has nothing to do with me.
My boy Bound Rock with him because he doesn't like watching soccer.
Well, I'll tell you why I was mad at him actually after that goal. But I did watch that match, the whole thing, and it was the first goal was amazing by Mbappe.
Mhm.
That second goal was also really good. It was like a good 1-2 with him and Hakimi.
Yeah.
But there was a header by Milik in like the 19th minute that kind of woke PSG up. PSG was dominating, but they were getting into some kind of boring lulls. Then Milik had that header, kind of woke PSG up. Then they scored again. Um, but the first half, Juve was terrible. Like they were so bad. I predicted that Juve will not advance and they will be in Europa or not even do that and just be last place.
Conference?
I don't think they can go into conference
Oh,
if they're last place, but
it's my
like
favorite
I
league.
watched Juve one match. I'm like, this team is terrible. But in the second half, PSG definitely like okay. The media that I saw talk about the match, they said that PSG would like didn't have any chances. They did have some chances in the second half that could have been goals for sure. Like there were some good saves by whoever Juve's goalie was, but
Perrin.
who?
Perrin.
Oh, okay. I don't know how you know him. But
Serie A C's, okay, but go off.
but they definitely didn't try as hard in the second half. And it was like, what are you doing? Like you should definitely be dominating this team way more. But sadly, in the 51st minute, when it could have been 3-0, Mbappe had a ball hog moment of the century. He's going down the right, and he has just the easiest cross to Neymar, who's like right there, and he just ends up
No.
shooting the ball like way into the crowd.
I need
But
hat trick.
terrible, terrible angle. You're not gonna make that shot. And not only did he not get it on frame, like you just completely scuffed it. And props to Neymar, honestly, because like if anybody's supposed to be like mad and sulking, it's like, dude, like this is a 3-0 chance. If you get three up on Juve, like they're done.
Mhm.
But Mbappe's like hella ball hog right there. And honestly, he's the only player that does that. Like watching PSG, I haven't watched him as much this season, but Neymar does not ball like Neymar sits on the ball too long, but he won't shoot when there's like an easy pass. Mbappe does that a lot. But I was mad at I call him Weston McConan because he does look like McConan the rapper. But Weston McConan got that header, and this fool starts celebrating after like doing his little sword thing. I'm like, dog, you're down.
We're
What
gonna
you
win a game here, dog.
like? Go grab the ball and bring it back to the halfway line. He's over here doing the sword. I'm like, really, idiot.
I'm like, why do you have to be so American? Well, come on, man. Can you
Caesar,
just
I know what you were going to say, Caesar. I know what you were going to say, but
it's American, dog. It's so
but yeah,
American.
Juve is still really bad, and they're not going to advance.
I have a question for you.
Huh.
What do you think? Because the big conversation from the wonderful pundits at CBS Paramount Plus on the American side were saying that like oh hey like this is great now PSG has a finally a preseason with Messi and like here's the setup like can you name like what's one positive you saw and like what's the main negative of like PSG going forward?
Like PSG look good. Like they can play with anybody. We've seen that.
I thought so too in that first half. Like in the beginning, they looked like pretty solid.
Very solid. It's just the consistency, and sometimes they just like you'll
Are they
see
running five backs?
they're running three in the
Right.
back.
Three in the back and two wing backs.
With Ramos and what's his name, Kimpembe and Marquinhos. But it's just sometimes they just become kind of disinterested. They don't have that like, you have Mbappe, dude. Like, just keep on feeding him the ball.
Yeah. And I think you're right about Neymar. Like I noticed this season, like he looks very much like previously, he looks like he was dragging solo to make things happen. When I was
Mhm.
watching PG's buildup, he's doing a lot of like one touch move plays with people, like pass back, pass forward, get into space, dual left footed pass here, right. But it seems like he's trying to do a little bit more, like with more hands offensively. Then, of course, he has his moments where he tries to get a crack into him, not even doubting that. But like I saw, like PSG has like a little bit of more like chemistry up top a little bit more.
I'll say
But
this: the reason why I was shaking my head when Holly said tactics is because
They look the freestyling to me, to be
yeah,
honest.
they're the team. It's just ramshackle. Like, but the thing is, you have Neymar,
Yeah.
who's like every defender's scared of him. You know, you have Messi, who is like vision is crazy, and then you have Mbappe, who can run by anybody easily. So you're gonna have chances no matter what. And you have like Verratti and Vitinha, like they're midfielders that can keep the ball. You know,
Yeah.
there's not that much pressure on the deep, like on the defenders, like on the three backs, because all these people can keep the ball so well. But really, like when you're watching it, it's just like, what's going on here? There's no tactics at all. It's just like give the ball to one of these guys and hopefully something happens.
You know what's funny? When I was watching Real, I noticed that like Tuchel would have actually been perfect for PSG because he's like the perfect, like I get the ball, I dribble a little bit, then I pass it midfielder ever. I'm like, you just needed a guy like that. You didn't need to be getting 15 other midfielders. Just get that guy. All he does is like steal the ball, hold possession for 2 dribbles, and passes it every time. It's great. I'm like, that's what you guys need because there's 15 people on that team that want to hold the ball all day.
You know, Caesar got to bring in Real Madrid no matter what. Wait, Holly, did you watch? You said you didn't watch any matches yesterday or no?
Just that one, just the first half of that one. But what I wanted to add is like PSG are like a real life ultimate team, but like all the lines connecting the players are like yellow to red
Yeah.
instead of green.
I don't know what that means.
Green means like they have
Like
great chemistry
good
and stuff like that.
chemistry.
Oh, okay. Wait, Caesar. So you watched Real Madrid versus Celtic yesterday. Yeah, let's
Absolutely.
talk
I
about that
watched
a little bit.
just a little bit. Real Madrid looked good. The only thing to note is unfortunately Benzema was subbed out in the 30th minute with an injury. That's concerning because Real Madrid didn't actually let go of Jovic in the offseason. He was kind of whatever anyways, but there was no backup striker on the team other than Mariano, who's a basketball player now. He plays basketball. And then so Hazard came in, did score a goal. Been a long time since I've seen a goal from young Hazard.
And,
He looked pretty solid too. Yeah, he
yeah,
looked solid. What I liked him about him was like he looked before he used to have more of an athletic game, so he was like very like trying to explode. I think he realized he literally can't explode anymore. So he was doing a good job being just very patient, like kept a close dribble, waited for the runs to come, and then he did a nice pass. He looked good out there, especially centrally. I'm like, if he plays a false 9, he can do that. He looked pretty good.
he had an assist too. Caesar, I got in a YouTube comments argument with some dude because I was saying that Hazard is much better playing like Benzema's backup.
I agree.
Like I was saying, like he's better doing that than trying to be on the wing. He can't be a winger.
No, he doesn't have the wing anymore. They talked
No.
about he had a surgery to remove the metal from like he basically had his knee cleaned out. I'm like, dog, he can't run like when you get your knee cleaned, it's over. Like you can't run like you used to. So he has, but he's always been a great dribble and he likes to post people up a lot and like kind of body them. So he looked good doing that. He made up some nice plays, set up the offense.
Well, what Benzema does is not a traditional center forward. So Hazard can do that.
Yeah.
Like that's easy. And he had that assist. I mean, it wasn't like a crazy assist, but he had the assist on Modric's goal too.
To be honest, Real Madrid does bank a lot on like production from Vinicius offensively. So like even when Benzema's not scoring, I know last season Benzema was doing insane stuff, but this season like Benzema hasn't scored as much, especially as Vinicius. Vinicius like scored almost every single game this season. Because they're feeding that ball so much, and he with that speed, he's able to get into open spaces. So in the Celtic game, he just got himself on an open space from a beautiful pass from Valverde that got in. Then Hazard scored, and then Hazard did a nice pass to Modric too, who got like his classic outside the boot shot too.
Also, you need to show Celtic some love. They were putting pressure on Real Madrid's goal
First
in
of
the
all,
first half. In the first half, they were putting pressure on Real Madrid's goal. You hater.
This is a pro Celtic podcast. Shout out to them.
Wait. Holly, are you a Rangers fan? Keep it real.
No.
Okay,
I'm not
it's a pro
Nah.
Celtic podcast.
Yeah.
They did really good. They brought my boy. They brought all my fellow Japanese players out there, but they couldn't get it done, dog. They couldn't get it done.
Okay, let's go to today because I do want to hear about this Liverpool Napoli match. I didn't watch it. The scoreline was crazy. Please, Holly, tell me about it.
Oh, it was actually such a good game. Liverpool lost the entire game, and for me, that's I love to see it. You love to see it. And honestly, it got me thinking, like, is there going to be another German manager that's sacked today? That's how bad it was.
Ooh, I'm so down to get that tweet later at 1 a.m. 1 a.m. like a Tuchel tweet. Oh, he's out. Great. I go to bed good tonight.
But honestly, like Fabinho looked terrible in the middle. Joe Gomez was absolutely lost at the back. Even Van Dijk got played out a little bit, but there's this kid on Napoli. He's like from Georgia or something. I don't even know how to say his name. It's like Kvaratskhelia or something like.
Your audio cut out.
Wait, wait, Holly, you're muted. You're muted.
Muted.
Oh wait, now you're back. Wait,
Was I
now
muted?
Now
okay.
you're back. Now you're back.
You're back. You're back.
Now I'm back. Okay.
You started out after you talked about Kvaratskhelia, that winger they have or whatever. And it cut
Okay.
off after,
So
yeah.
basically, he was running through Liverpool's midfield. I texted you guys and I was like, Liverpool's looking like Swiss cheese because they were so many holes in the middle and they were just getting beat. There's like, go on Twitter, search up like Kvaratskhelia highlights. He like made Fabinho look like he broke his ankles in the middle of the pitch and just kept turned and kept going. Like it was so good. And he set up Simeone's son's goal, the fourth goal. It was so nice. But honestly, like I was very surprised that my cat, did you see that?
Yo, trying to escape.
Honestly, they looked so Liverpool looked so good in Napoli. I didn't know they could play like that, to be honest. I haven't watched much Serie A this season, but they're looking really good. And Liverpool, questionable.
I saw a play. Well. Speaking of Van Dijk, I pulled Van Dijk's card last year. I said he's washed last year. But I saw a play. What is it? Zambo Anguissa scored,
Yeah.
and there was like a 1-2, and it was 4 Liverpool players just standing still.
They were literally just standing in the box. Like, I don't know. I don't know if there's something going on. Like, they look like they weren't even putting any effort into it. It's like they knew. And Kvaratskhelia like ran past. He had Trent Alexander-Arnold in his like pocket the whole time, and then he ran past Joe Gomez. It was just, I mean, it was beautiful to watch, but like I don't know what's going on with Liverpool in that game.
AKA Ho Gomez. But but yeah, no, I only saw like 2 of the goals, but Trent Alexander-Arnold, I don't know like what happens to him when he has to defend. I was saying it in the Man U match, like
Confusing.
like I just don't know what's going on when he has to defend in space, especially like I feel like he starts crying on the inside, like he's like
checks out,
terrified, like I don't want to do this anymore, and he'd rather just lay on the ground because he just has no interest or something.
Then when he starts getting beat, he gets mad and like trying to like pick fights. I'm like, dude, like you got to pick a lane. Do you not want to be beat? Like, what's going on here? I can't tell. Hey, look, it's like, do you want to play wingback? You can just go to the team, man. Just go to Inter or something, run around up there and do whatever you want. But here you got to play. They have a 4-back set. You got to play defense, dog. I saw one of the highlights. That's the third goal they got. It was the same thing where that Georgian guy straight out of Atlanta came down the flank and then like crossed the ball in, and like there's just like a 5'8" Napoli player just standing there and 2 center defenders just standing in between. I'm like, wait a minute, like no one put a hand on a body, no one grabs a shoulder or a shirt. Foul him. Why does a short guy just standing there in the middle get an open cross? Like I'm like, what are they doing? It's like they literally just showed up for work, but they didn't like come to work at all. Like, are they trying to get the coach fired? Because it looked like a little bit of a defensive protest out there. I don't know what's going on, dude. But I'm not watching Napoli this year because I'm protesting those jerseys. I hate them. I'm not watching.
I mean, they never really have nice jerseys. They always kind of look the same.
Except for like 3 years ago, they had those sick Kappa ones with the gold and blue. That was the only one.
Oh, yeah, those were nice.
But ever since
But
then, fell off.
honestly, I think Liverpool played a bit scared because they did concede 2 penalties. I know Napoli did miss one, or Anderson saved one, I should say, but It could have easily been like 5-0 in the first half.
I'm
If it
down for
wasn't for the
Liverpool to score
penalty and
0
another
goals.
like open net like miss, but like it was brutal.
Shout out to Georgia. You know what I mean? Saakashvili, he's weird, but I don't know what's going on with Liverpool. I was really expecting all the Serie A teams to not advance. Like I was thinking, like Inter, Juve, and Napoli would not win any matches, and yeah, I was kind of hoping that.
What about
But
Milan?
Liverpool is just really messing up my bracket, I guess.
What about AC Milan, dog?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, they drew against Salzburg.
Hey man, whoa, they're pretty good. They have nice away jerseys.
Okay, Caesar. Okay, you watch Inter Bayern. Let's hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, Inter Bayern. Strangely enough, I kind of enjoyed watching Bayern's form going forward. They have like this pretty like it. I like their offense. They have like Mueller in the middle, and they'll have Coleman and Sane on the and Mane just kind of like rotating flanks, like attacking. And when they do get possession moving forward, they look extremely dangerous. Now, they don't have that same. I don't have the same fear of them like when they had Lewandowski. Like Lewandowski is just extremely dangerous. Like that's the guy you circle on the score sheet. Like you got to watch him. Like they don't really have that guy right now, but they're able to make a lot happen. I think there was moments Sane was playing. I know Bam would have been so upset watching how left-footed he was. He was like going to the right with his left foot, like sideways. I was like, this is cringe. It was really rough, but no, they looked really good. They could have been a bigger scoreline. They had some opportunities with Sadio Mane too that could have went through. They looked good. They also had a deeper midfield with your boy Sabitzer and
Kimmich.
Kimmich and deep because Goretzka's coming back from a knee injury. And it looked really good because they have great service. Like they're able to move that ball so well. The only times they kind of really messed up was when Noor kind of was acting crazy and he almost like got the ball stolen off him like 3 times. But yeah, they didn't really like see like they were fearing any threat. Like there was like a couple moments where Inter could have had something going, but it's just I'm like I don't believe in them. I don't think anybody really did either. Bayern looked pretty much in control of the game, and yeah, it was okay. It just wasn't the most like highlight reel game. It looks like a lot of just good plays, and they won it out.
I did watch Tottenham versus Marseille. I don't want to get into it that much because nobody cares except for me. But Tottenham won 2-0 because Mbemba got a red card and then they got a couple of headers from Richarlison. But Marseille was dominating the first, like up until that red card, Marseille was dominating. But some other scores that were big. Okay, Barca beat Victoria Pilsen or whatever. Sporting beat Eintracht Frankfurt 3-0, which is cool. Benfica
Yeah.
beat Maccabi Haifa, which you love to see. Maybe I don't know if Holly loves to see that, but BVB beat Copenhagen 3-0. And then one of the shocking scorelines from yesterday, Dinamo Zagreb 1-0 over Chelsea, a match that I did watch,
Me
which
too.
led to your boy, Holly's favorite manager, Thomas Tuchel, being sacked in the wee hours here in North America. Were you guys shocked?
Yeah, I was pretty shocked.
Bam kind of predicted it. He kind of called it yesterday. You
Did I?
said when I was messaging you about the game, you're like, Tuchel's probably about to get sacked. You messaged that. You can check the group.
I don't even remember saying that.
You said Tuchel's about to get sacked. I was like, probably. And then I'm getting in bed, checking the late night text, see what's popping, and I get a alert Tuchel's fired. I was like, well, that's the best text I could get right now. So he's out of there. They looked super uninspired. I actually liked the fact that they got a booming. I thought that was a good pickup for them. Like there was a couple of times that you could tell he was trying to be like a little bit. You did, right? He was trying to be. You called that. He was trying to be unselfish, but I don't. Even though I was watching Havertz, I'm like, what's going on? Do you care? Like I don't know. They look kind of over it. Zyke looked terrible. Oh my god, he looked
He
so bad.
he did. I didn't even realize he was set to leave. Like Tuchel wanted him gone by the end of the window. So that's kind of awkward.
Yeah, he's been
And
acting up
Mason
since he
Mount, he
got.
was all over the place, but like nothing fit. was like, what are you doing?
He was on the left side and he was trying to like do moves and getting the ball stolen. He went the right side, he was turning the ball stolen. The crowd was getting buck wild every time they got the ball. So it was so funny. I was like, damn, they're loving this.
I do think Thomas Tuchel is a good coach. He's only been there since January last year.
It's 2 seasons.
Yeah, I
Why
mean,
does he always wear out his welcome? What's going on here,
well,
dude?
I do think the situation was a little different. Well, I'll just say this: he finished fourth that first season, and they won Champions League, and they finished third last season. But that team went through it because of the war last year, I'm sorry, this year. Like the team just got completely overhauled
That's true.
owners wise. And then you bring in Todd Bowley, who I did do some research on. And I have my theories about this situation with Mr. Tomness. Todd Bowley, the owner of the damn, did I forget? Who he owns the Dodgers, right? No, he doesn't own the Dodgers. Who does he own again?
He owns the Dodgers.
Is it the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering, I was like, why does Tuchel not want to play Pulisic ever? Like, how does it, like, why? I'm like, you got Loftus Cheek, who is really bad. Why does he never want to play Pulisic? But I'm thinking Thomas Tuchel or Tuchel, he's not getting down with Pulisic's politics. I think that Thomas Tuchel is a leftist. And he's like, look, I seen you liking them January 6 tweets, Christian Pulisic. And Todd Bowley, he's some billionaire. I was looking up his political donations. Yes, I does that. And he donated, I don't know Holly's politics. I'm not trying to guess here. But but Todd Bowley did donate more to Republicans and Democrats in 2020. And, maybe Tuchel met him. And, maybe Todd Bowley rubbed him the wrong way.
Tuchel is extremely German. He's like, this is ridiculous. I'm not doing it.
I don't know what extremely German means. I don't know what that means. But
I mean, current era German, not like back then. Well, the prime minister is leftist, right?
The chancellor of Germany?
Chancellor, yeah. Whatever the hell they call. Goddamn, they got too many titles.
He's no leftist, but,
Okay.
But I think this is a political situation. And Thomas was like, I'm out of here. I don't really want to be here. He's taken 13 million pounds to the bank for leaving. And he's like, peace out.
I think that's a fun it's a fun it's fun research you did. Fun research.
Who else is doing it?
It's entirely possible, and I'm not saying it's impossible. Okay, it's plausible.
You'll see.
But what I think happened is, let's keep it real. I talked about this last season of the show. You cannot have a successful team, especially in a league competition, when your top scorer has 5 goals. Literally, they were into March or May, and 6 players were tied with 4 goals, and that was like the leading scorer had 6. I'm like, you're not going to have a successful campaign if you have a consistent person that you can pass it to get the results you need. Like, yeah, this team ball thing is fun in Champions League, where you're playing Wednesday after Sunday games and it's sporadic and you have a lot of players of high energy and they have a lot of midfielders and wingers and just throwing them at you all day, you're going to win. But when it comes to consistent league play on the back end of those games, you need players that are just going to be there and do that damn job every time. They don't have they haven't had a top 5 Premier League striker in many years. So, like, what's going on here? And so they got Lukaku last year. It didn't work out. He dipped. It's just not working. I think Tuchel is also a good coach, but also I think Tuchel's problem is that I think that he also thinks that his way is the only way. I don't think he's very open-minded and trying to, like, diversify his offense and see what he can do offensively. His formation was a little weird. Even his team, the formation is goofy. I don't really know what's going on up top. I just kind of see, like, a bunch of small wingers running up there and trying to score. I don't know. It's hard to read that team, and I just think that because of the donations, they just let them go. That's probably what happened. So the president's donating. No, I'm playing, but yeah, I just didn't think it worked out.
Yeah, but for me, I think it's like, for the longest time now, Chelsea have been like a here and now team. They haven't thought about the future. They have so many academy kids. Like they haven't thought of building from their own academy in a while. Like, sure, there's been a few kids who've come out, but like they ship them off all the time. And that kind of brings up the fact that, like, so like what Graham Potter is like their number one pick after Tuchel, and like he's coming from Brighton, who is literally known for, they have such a good system going on, like they know how to build a club. And if he, I see so many people on the internet being like, Graham Potter, don't pick up the call, like don't
Don't do it,
answer
dog.
Chelsea's call, because like he's gonna have a like one season, and if he doesn't perform, like he'll be gone too. Like I think Chelsea just don't know what they're doing.
I don't think so either. And I think also they did have a lot of turnover. I think we undervalue like having like a massive ownership change. You know, Roman was there for a long time, like a long time, and all of a sudden he's gone. The money's still there, but leadership in terms of ownership, he might have a completely different vision. And his vision might be more price based, it might be more price line, more than success. I mean, the Tammy Abraham thing is another blunder, and consistent blunders in Chelsea being able to retain their youth talent, right? Like there has to be a reason why this guy can score 20 goals over here but not do anything here. There got to be a reason. So
It's Syria.
yeah, I know, but I mean, he's just a big striker. Like, I mean, like, what are we doing here? I've already made fun of him in the past. I think he has weak ankles, but that's nothing. Like, yeah, I think that Chelsea, like you said, I think they're very much like they don't think about the long term, and that's shown in their coaches, right? From Jose to didn't they get what's his name too from Italy? What they got the Italian guy
Conte.
too,
They got
Conte.
Conte.
They've always
Conte,
had a
yeah.
rotating hot seat of like coaches there.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know what side Holly's on in the war in Ukraine right now, but there are a lot of Ukrainians in Canada.
They are.
But I think that situation really caused a lot of upheaval in the team. And I think that new owner, I just feel like Thomas Tuchel was not feeling him because it's weird. They have a good team and they played well this season. I just feel like Thomas, like, yeah, I don't want to stay here no more. Can y'all let
Also,
me
they
go?
spent money. They
They spent
spent
a
a
lot of
lot of
money.
money on players,
260, yeah. It was a record transfer window for them, I
which
think.
Chelsea never does. Chelsea's like Arsenal before, where they're like super stingy on getting players sometimes. They spend a lot of money on players.
Yeah, but he was like, nah, dude.
Why would it take one result to fire him? I don't believe that. It's kind of weird.
Doug, Real Madrid lost to Sheriff last year and won the
We lost to
Champions League.
Shakhtar too.
Yeah, so like for me, I'm like, this result is not enough, dude. Like,
No.
let the team gel. You just got a Aubameyang. He only played a little bit. He had a couple chances. He had like one chance where he ended up squaring it to Raheem Sterling. That was kind of weird, but
Yeah.
it's early days. Let the team gel. They just got a center forward, which is like the thing that they needed the whole time. Like on the matches that they lost. But I think it was more Thomas saying, "Look, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm not going to be repping some. You got you got a Republican player and owner. I don't want to be part of this. I don't know Holly's politics. I don't want to offend you, but you know, okay, good. But I think that's what it was. And you know what? When you find out, you're like, damn, Bam was right.
Honestly, though, Tuchel has faults with like everybody, every club he's been at. It happened at Dortmund, it happened at
Yeah.
PSG with like the sporting director. Like,
Okay, but at BVB, I remember that whoever that owner was, he's kind of a slave owner type. I remember him talking shit about Dembele and Aubameyang a couple times. We talked about it years ago on the podcast. I'm not really feeling that dude either. I don't remember who it was. And PSG, like, come on, dude, like it's PSG. Like, really, like, honestly, I feel like his career would have been better if he never went to PSG. Go to
probably.
BVB. Go to like, I hate to say it like
Yeah.
this, but go to like a real team after BVB. PSG is a clown show in a lot of ways. But I mean, whatever, he'll find a new job. We only got 4 minutes. I don't know if y'all seen that, but I am seeing Caesar's cars on his shirt though. You know what I'm saying? He got that El Camino and
I'm just a classic American, dog. What do you expect?
But we got the news in May, but I guess they finally signed the agreement to split all the revenue evenly between the U.S. men's national team and the U.S. women's national team. Holly, I know you don't care because you hate America, but no, I'm just joking.
Me too.
But no, but Holly, what do you think about this? Do you think this is good? Like, do you know what Canada's situation is in regards to that?
Honestly, Canada are kind of going through a similar thing at the moment as well, between both the national teams. But honestly, what I've always thought about it, like I always obviously thought it was never fair. And considering the success of honestly both the US women's national team and the Canadian women's national team. Like it should be a lot more, or it should be equal at least. Like at least minimum, it should be like that should have never really been a question. But I'm really glad that they all finally got what they deserve and will continue to get what they deserve. Actually, unpopular opinion, I actually root more for the US women's national team than I do Canada's. So
Gotta go, guys.
No. She can do that still because we still have Megan Rapinoe and it's fair. Yeah, as long as you have Rapinoe there, you can do that. That's a wonderful person.
Do you have any outspoken political people in the Canada women's national team?
I think none of them so public like the US. I think it's all behind the scenes stuff. Like they don't really it's always they speak as a team, or it's never one outspoken person, which I always admired in Rapinoe and several of the other US players. But I don't know. I don't know why there isn't.
I feel like, I mean, not to say that Canada's perfect, but Canada's politics aren't as polarizing as here. Like it's a lot easier to like, we got some major racist event or some, attempted coups like every other week here. So like,
Sure.
it's a little, Trudeau is just running, hey guys, but like
he had a little bit of heat in that last. He had a little bit of heat.
He's had some heat season. Before, yeah. He's definitely had some heat.
But the numbers came out and didn't really turn out the way.
Who damn it! What was the other mayor of Toronto, the crack smoking Jamaican?
Tom Ford? No.
Rob Ford.
Ford.
If Rob Ford became president, then you would have had somebody.
That'd be so fun. Rob Ford, Prime Minister Rob Ford.
That was my guy.
R.I.P. to that man.
R.I.P. Rob Ford.
Hopefully they put the pipe in the casket.
Pour one out for Rob Ford. No, I'll go super fast, Bam. I see I have 20 seconds to talk. Yeah, I know Bam's take on this. I just think in general sense, equality was absolutely the goal. And I think that's what was and great. In the past, we've had to use damn nutrition bar companies just to supplement funds for the women to get a decent amount of pay equivalent to the men. Now that that's finally equal, especially when trophy-wise, it's not equal. It's great that the women are going to be receiving equal pay and fair pay. And that's what I want to see moving forward for all male and female women's sports in America. That'd be great seeing that move forward. So good for the women. They deserve that absolutely through and through.
I mean, although We Made It podcast stance is always that the women deserve more, I guess.
The women do deserve more. I'm happy they got equal, but I want them to get more.
Yes, but we don't really have much to say anymore because the time's almost up. We Made It podcast, episode 270. This is a great day because Holly is officially a part of We Made It podcast, I think.
We jumped her in.
I don't know if she's joking though, but
no, I signed the
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna get cut off, so let's just keep talking until they do. Yeah. So we got a third member finally after 5 years. Let's just keep talking.
To get cut off on purpose.
Yeah,
let's do it on purpose.
Yeah, that's Caesar's favorite thing. Is for
Holly, sign us out. Holly, sign us out.
Wait, I think I have something to tell you guys.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
She's like, no, I was joking actually.
Just put me out of my misery.